This is a classic example of John's outlook on life and the opportunities it provides. Dr. and Mrs. Leraas, I wanted to share a moment from one of our adventures. John and I were on the way back from one of our fishing trips to the coast. Basically, out of nowhere, I said, "Your parents were very present when you were growing up." And this statement really caught me off guard because I hadn't thought about it before I said it. It just sprung forth from my knowledge of John. And he said, yes, indeed, my parents were very nurturing, and they had volunteered at his grade school and been there through his childhood. And I just want to thank you for all the love and devotion that you put into raising John. John's friendship is a treasured gift in my life. When I think of Mandy, I think of an all-is-in woman. Not all brides who are Carolina basketball fans have the jump around played at their wedding ceremony. And not all college students go to the Final Four like Mandy did when Carolina won the national championship in 2009. On the fishing front, Mandy has kept an even keel through torrential rainstorms, dashes across a river when the water rose dangerously below a dam, and outboard motor issues down at the coast. I learned a little more about Mandy when the three of us went on a fishing trip to Tennessee. John was explaining a fly fishing concept to Mandy, and I was about to add the next point in the progression. But before I could open my mouth, Mandy theorized that point and explained it, and I was like, wow. I see what John sees in her. Being a friend of Mandy's has brought me great joy. And Mr. and Mrs. McGregor, I want to thank you for all the love and devotion that you put into raising Mandy. As part of their ceremony today, John and Mandy have chosen to recreate a Southwest Native American wedding tradition using this traditional wedding vase from Mandy's home state of New Mexico. All Native American wedding vases have some features in common. Two spouts are connected by a single handle. The two spouts symbolize the individual lives, and the handle symbolizes the union of those two lives in marriage. Traditionally, holy water is placed in the wedding vase, which is turned and offered to the bride. She drinks from one spout, turns the vessel, and offers it to the groom, who drinks from the opposite spout. This simple exchange unites the pair as a married couple. Since we find ourselves some distance from the closest Native American pueblo, John and Mandy will share Sauvignon Blanc, their favorite celebratory wine, in their wedding vase. This cup of wine is symbolic of the cup of life. As you share the one cup of wine, you undertake to share all that the future may bring. All the sweetness life's cup may hold for you should be sweeter because you drink it together. Whatever drops of bitterness it may contain should be less bitter because you share them. John and Mandy have each prepared a declaration of love and affection that they wish to share at this time.
I just first wanted to share a very cherished memory of mine, of something that I shared with Mandy. On one of my first international business trips, leading up to it, Mandy and I had been trying to spend as much time as possible together, every second of every day. And that led up to Mandy driving me to the airport, Mandy getting out and parking, walking in with me, and coming up to the ticket counter with me. And when we got there, the lady working there paused and asked kind of hesitantly, are you in the military? And I said no. And she paused and she said, are you a veteran? And I said no, and I was beginning to wonder what's happening. And she paused again and turned to Mandy and said, would you like to go with him through security and wait with him at his gate? And we both smiled, giant smiles, said yes. And as she was passing Mandy her paperwork, she said, It's just so nice to see two young people so in love. And so we were able to go through airport security together because of that. And I'm here because I love you as much as I did that day, if not more so, and I'll continue to do so always.
I love you so much. I'm sorry, I'm not going to talk to you guys like John did. I just want to talk to him. I love you so much. I've never met anyone as amazing, fun, and wonderful, and kind as you are. One of my favorite things about you is how you take care of everyone and are always helping everyone all the time. How you push cars out of the road on a daily basis. Help old ladies, their chairs, and stuff like that. It's amazing. And since meeting you, you have made me feel so different from any way I felt before. It's like you keep me tied to the ground, but I feel light as a feather. It's the most amazing thing, and I'm so happy and so lucky that I get to feel that way for the rest of my life. Can't wait for all the adventures we're on. I love you so much.
Now John and Mandy will exchange vows. John, please repeat after me. With this ring, I give you my promise
With this ring, I give you my promise.
that from this day forward, you shall not walk alone.
From this day forward, you shall not walk alone.
May my heart be your shelter, and my arms be your home.
May my heart be your shelter, and my arms be your home.
May we talk through all things together.
May we talk through all things together.
May you feel deeply loved and always see your innocence in my eyes.
May you feel deeply loved and always see your innocence in my eyes.
I give you my heart. I have no greater gift to give.
I give you my heart. I have no greater gift to give.
I feel so honored to call you my wife. I feel so pleased to call you mine.
I feel so honored to call you my wife. I feel so pleased to call you mine.
May we feel this joy forever. I will love you always.
May we feel this joy forever. I will love you always.
Mandy, please repeat after me. With this ring, I give you my promise
With this ring, I give you my promise
that from this day forward, you shall not walk alone.
that from this day forward, you shall not walk alone.
May my heart be your shelter and my arms be your home.
May my heart be your shelter, my arms be your home.
May we talk through all things together.
May we talk through all things together.
May you feel deeply loved and always see your innocence in my eyes.
May you feel deeply loved and always see your innocence in my eyes.
I give you my heart. I have no greater gift to give.
I give you my heart, I have no greater gift to give.
I feel so honored to call you my husband. I feel so pleased to call you mine.
I feel so honored to call you my husband. I feel so pleased to call you mine.
May we feel this joy forever. I will love you always.
May we feel this joy forever. I will love you always.
By the power vested in me by the American Marriage Ministries in the state of North Carolina, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Normally, this is the part of the ceremony where I'd ask the bride and groom to kiss, but that reminds me of a story. I first met Mandy at in Carborough at the Armadillo Grill. And as they were leaving, I was sitting near a window and I looked down and they were stopped at a traffic light and they were waiting for the light to change so they could cross. And when they did, they turned to each other and gave each other a kiss. And at that time, I wondered where this will lead. And it leads to this kiss now. It is my pleasure to present Mr. and Mrs. Leraas.